A young couple who was driving by a notorious area in their country's capital suddenly found their car broken. The guy gets out to fix it, but to no avail. He mentions something about a gasoline station a mile back. Before leaving to ask for help, he warns his girlfriend to keep the doors locked. After an hour, a man approaches the car, circles it, scaring the girl. The girl honks the horn as soon as the man starts banging on the windshield. The man leaves, only to return 20 minutes later. He goes by the window and raises something to his right hand. Much to the girl's shock, it was her boyfriend's decapitated head. She was even more horrified by what he raises in his left hand. Her boyfriend's car keys. The next day, the police found her inside the car alone, screaming and laughing wildly, driven insane by some unknown terror. A newly married couple moved into a nearby neighborhood. The first few months of their stay were uneventful. As time went on, the wife noticed that the husband was coming home later than usual, making her suspicious of him. One night, the wife was awakened by a sound of heavy footsteps in the carpet. Knowing that it's her husband, she decided to give him the cold shoulder by pretending to be asleep. She felt him lie down beside her in bed and place his arm around her neck, which felt heavier than normal. She had enough, lifted his arm and saw the leg of a horse. A doctor was riding down the elevator into his office on the 4th floor. Next to him was a patient. The elevator stopped at the 8th floor, and the doors opened. A young boy stood in front of him. "Going down?" the young boy asked. The doctor gave the boy a good look before answering. "No, this is going up." He pressed the button to close the doors. The patient beside him answered, "Why didn't you let him ride with us? This car's going down anyways." He was already dead. He was a patient who died a week ago from leukemia. The doctor answered. "How do you know he's dead?" He had a blue tag on his left wrist. That means he's dead and marked for the morgue. "Oh, you mean like this?" The patient shows the doctor the blue tag on her left wrist. Two teachers found it difficult to head back home since they got stranded in school during the middle of the typhoon. So they decided to sleep in one of the classrooms. They asked the guard for a key to the room, which he provided. As they were coming up the stairs, they started talking about ghost stories. "Hey, did you know that a ghost haunts this particular floor?" "What does it look like?" "Well, it was dressed in white and it had red eyes." Suddenly, they heard a thud in one of the locked rooms. One of them went to investigate. She peered through the keyhole and saw red. Two siblings, a younger brother and an older sister, were left alone in the middle of the night as the parents left for emergency call at the hospital. A little past midnight, the boy awoke to a peculiar sound coming from the living room. Without waking up his sister, he went downstairs to investigate. As he reached the living room, he saw that the piano was playing music without anyone in it. He went closer to take a look and saw the keys were moving by themselves. Spooked, he went back upstairs and forced himself to sleep. The next day, he said to his older sister, replied, last night I had a dream that I was playing the piano. A student hurried to catch the last jeep that was heading for the dorms. A few minutes later, she was the only person on board, and there were only a few more meters to her dorm. Suddenly, the driver changed course, heading through a much longer path. The girl reminded the driver to just drop her off at the dorm. After a few more minutes of waiting, they found themselves back at the original route where the driver was supposed to drop her off, to which he did. Before alighting, the driver called out to her saying, "Miss, if you get home, please take your clothes off immediately and please burn them off and throw them away. I changed course earlier to avoid disaster because when I looked in the mirror, you had no head." The girl did as she was told. The next day, the girl woke up and switched on the news that reported the driver of the Jeep she got on had met in an accident last night, just a few hours after dropping her off. Apparently, the warning was not for her, but for the driver.